Hi, Telluride. You are listening to The Solo Show on KOTO in Telluride, Colorado, at our new time, 9 p.m. to midnight, alternate Thursdays. Anything I might be about to say is my own opinion and not the opinion of KOTO. Hey, I got an interesting call this morning. It was from the White House. And no, I'm not kidding. Yes, I was very surprised. I understand that President Obama is listening to the show tonight on the internet at KOTO.org. Mr. President, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Solo Radio Show. And while I have your attention, I'd like to bring up something that's been on my mind lately. I understand that there are a lot of complexities in dealing with world affairs, and sometimes we have to balance what is right with what is practical. And I think people in places of authority and power trying to make this balance begin to think of the world and its politics in metaphoric terms of a kind of, say, multi-layered chessboard. And they eventually get to a place in which they believe that they and their peers must navigate the many conceptual levels of the chessboard with all of its issues and events that arise. And they come to believe that it is their special ability to do that. And like a skilled surgeon whose solution to every problem is surgery, a skilled politician sees every event as calling for a complicated, many-tiered, counterbalancing political solution. So we end up balancing our relationships with brutal despots against the desire to support individual freedoms for a multitude of reasons that can be interpreted as reasonable. But sometimes things are simpler than all that, and yet we needlessly get lost in this forest of complexity that we normally reside in. We're in such a time now. Technology is changing the world order. It was technology that allowed the Soviet peoples to listen to Western music and to watch Western movies and to be exposed to Western freedoms. And eventually they knocked down the Berlin Wall. It is technology now that has allowed the recent cries for freedom that we hear coming from the Middle East. America is the last great superpower, and its power is based on one idea. The idea that America was founded on. And the idea that has driven America to its logical place in the world. America has no common ethnic group. America has no state religion. America is a land of complete diversity, and yet Americans have one thing in common, one thing that holds us together as a nation, and it is that idea. And that idea is the idea of freedom, the idea of individual liberty, and that is America's creed. When America hears cries for freedom in parts of the world that are no longer so distant, when America sees protests against tyranny, America must live up to its creed without hesitation, without compromise. One of the greatest men, born of our creed, once said, "We have no alternative but to protest. For many years we have shown an amazing patience. But we come here tonight to be saved from that patience that makes us patient with anything less than freedom and justice." That was said in Montgomery, Alabama, on December 5th, 1955, by Martin Luther King. Let us live up to our creed, Mr. President. Let us support the peoples of Egypt without hesitation, without measured words, without carefully crafted calculations. It's simple. They want their freedom, and we, the people whose creed is the creed of freedom, sweet freedom, must support them without pause, without reflection, and without caution. We are waiting, Mr. President. We're still waiting. We're waiting on the world to change.